previously I created this tic-tac-toe game based on two players. Now these two players are physically required, that is, first is the O, second is the X. Now you will have to play for both of these players. So let's take this step further. I will implement an simple AI, or rather a machine learning algorithm on it, so that a computer can be emulated as one of those players. For this, I will not be using any algorithmic model or machine learning, so you don't need to have any knowledge about machine learning or artificial intelligence, deep learning or whatever. I will be just using some database min-max functions and nothing else. So let's code. Now for this, I will be first creating a database. So the database looks like this. Okay, so you will be thinking like, what is this? Does this mean anything or whatever? But it is rather easy to understand. So the first column you can see here are the possible outcomes of tic-tac-toe. So there are in total, can you guess, a whopping 19,683 outcomes. So I have listed it all of them here. Now we'll be using a simple loop to create this. The other rows or columns I will be showing you what is that afterwards. Now to understand it, I will be looping like this. Now there are total 9 possibilities in tic-tac-toe. I will be representing empty cells as 0. Now there are total 9 boxes in tic-tac-toe. First I will do is I will take the 9th position and change it to X. Then I will change it to O. Then I will go to the 8th position. I will change it to X. Then again I will change it to X and O on the 9th position. Similarly I will do for 7th, then change for 8, 9. And when 7 is done, I will go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the database is exactly that. As you can see here, first is the X, then O, 0, X, O, 0. And this here is changing continuously. So there are total 3 possibilities on a place and total 9 boxes. So this is a simple permutation combination problem. So let's implement a simple loop for this. Now I will be defining a file object f open and keeping the file name as db. I will open it in write mode. Now I will be defining another array in which, rather list, in which I will be defining the 3 possible inputs of the game, that is X, O and for an empty cell 0. Now I will be defining the out cell or result, whatever you want to say, as a list of zeros. So the list will be of total 9 zeros. Now I will be defining some other variables as per need. Now we will be using here the main logic by for loops. So I will be using for x0. Now x I will be using a term variable for the different places here. So x0 representing the 0th position. Now in Python the indexes starts from 0. I have written here 1, but it starts from 0 to 8. So I will be representing it by x0. So x0 in ARR, that is the array in which the terms are defined. I will give another for loop inside this. So we will be creating a nested for loop for each and every place. So I will be requiring total 9 for loops, that is x0 to x9. So let's just copy paste it. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 loops. Now let's name the variables as x0, x1, x2 and so on. Now further you need to do is, in the out variable, that is the result, I will be storing it, the changing inputs through the for loop. For this I will be using out and the 8th position, that is the 9th box, as index starts from 0. I will be using out 8 is equals to x8 and f dot write for the database jon, that is the variable we defined here, John dot join out. Now join is the function and we'll be defining another variable out1 to copy the output array into it, because in Python array are just copied as an instances. To actually copy you require the copy function. Now we will be using another variable count. Now we will be jumping to in the x7 for loop. Now here we'll be defining out7 for the 8th position equals x7. Similarly, out8 equals out6 equals x6, and similarly for each and every for loop. So as you can see here, let's consider a position x2. Now in position x2, the following for loops will be nested in it, so this will be conducted first. Now what will we do is, till x2 is 0, it will be recurring in these loops. Then x2 will become x, then it will recur x0. Similarly, each and every for loop, it will happen. As I explained here, first the 9th position will change, then 8th position 1, then again 9th position all possibilities, then 7th, and continuously like that. So you can create a database with all possibilities of x and zeros through this. Now next thing we need to do is define what are the playing possibilities for each of them. Okay, so let's consider the first possibility, in which the 9th, or rather the 8th position is x. If the last position is x and the first boxes are empty, then the player can input in any of these boxes. So we need to define those possibilities. So I have just made a row for that. So the first column will be the main possibilities, and the next columns in that row will be the possible options for the player to play. So as you can see here, there are total 8 possible options. So I am defining the options through 1. So for the first playing option, that is the first box, I am representing it 1. Then similarly in second box, third box, fourth, and continuously. So this is repeating it through the whole database. So to this we'll be making a small edit in the last for loop. So after the copy and the count variable, we'll be defining another group for each row. So for x in out1, that is the output array in which the output is stored, if x equals 0, because if x will be 0, then only player can input in this box, because x of 0 represents an empty position. So if x is equals to 0, out 1 count equals 1, and we'll be write it to the database. So f.write, using a delimiter for CSV file editing, will be put a comma in that, plus join out 1, plus we'll be defining a power or weight in this. Now if you have any knowledge about machine learning, then you may have heard about neurons and weights. So this is a very basic machine learning program without any external algorithm. So I'll be defining the weights here itself. So I am defining a default weight as 10,000. Now this will be changing through training data. Now out1 equals out.copy to replace the copied variable to itself, and another thing, count equals count plus 1 to go through the rows, and enter a new line, f.write equals /n for the new line. So as you can see here, we have coded for a database. Now let's run this. Okay, so we need to change the directory. So let's make it w plus, as if there is no directory then create it. Okay, so we just forgot a comma. Okay, so this must be good to go. Okay, so here the coding is finished. Now let's see that. So as you can see here, the new database is created through a coded function. So this is the original database that I showed, and this is the database that we just created. So this is the end of part 1. In part 2, I will show you how to make the tic-tac-toe game with AI implemented in it. Now, I had previously created the tic-tac-toe game without any AI. I will be making little changes in that. If you want to see how did I make it, then you can go to the top right corner and watch that video. If you know enough, then you can just jump to the second part and know how to create the AI. I will be also explaining how to create the game too. But I'm just will be giving an overview rather than the tutorial. So wait for you in the second.